Now, I want to introduce you to someone who's a legend around my side of town in Windsor. Now, one day his mail showed up at my door, and I figured, you know what, I'll be a nice guy and go drop it off. And we've been friends ever since. But I really wanted to dive deep and learn a little bit more about how he became such a legend in this part of town. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce you to that guy that's slanging wood all over town. His name is Michael Defazio.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, I'm doing good.
That's awesome. What was your name?
My name is Michael Defazio.
Michael. Can I call you Mike?
You can call me Mike.
All right, Mike. Now, question for you, man. Well, before we even dive into things, maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you do.
So, my name is Mike Defazio, and I have a furniture shop here in Ford City. We do everything from custom dining room tables to fireplace mantles to barn doors, pretty much everything that you want to have custom built or need to have custom built for your home, your business, anything like that. We work with a lot of designers, home builders type thing.
That's pretty cool. So, question for you. Do you remember the first time you made 100 grand in a year?
Yes, I do.
Okay, maybe you could dive into it and tell us a little bit about it and maybe share a little bit about how you even got started.
So I started my wood shop out of my nonno's garage way back in the day. I think I moved out of there in 2014. By that point, I'm pretty sure my first year here, we made over 100 grand in a year. It sounds like a big, crazy amount, but when you break it down month to month, it's actually it's very easily attainable, especially when your average price point, like ours is, anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000. So it's, could be one project a month, could be 3 projects a month. It just depends. But my first year making 100 grand was in this building right behind me, right in Ford City, and it was crazy and it was shocking to see it.
I hear you, man. So how did you even get started, like woodworking and creating custom furniture? Like, can you even go to school for that?
Yeah, you can go. Well, kind of. You go to school for woodworking. So when we hire our guys here, we make sure that they have the schooling that they provide at St. Clair or wherever else. They have some experience or the schooling for essentially the safety of the machines, not so much their building technique, because we teach everything in the shop because I want things done a specific way. My guys learned it a specific way, and I just want everybody else that comes to work for us in the future to learn it a specific way as well. So it's kind of like, as long as you know how to use the tools safely and everything like that, we can teach you the rest.
Yeah, but how did you get started?
I got started out of necessity because back in the day when my entire life revolved around music and my band and everything, I needed a way to pay for tour, going on tour with my band. I mean, being in any sort of musician or musical industry type thing at the very beginning, you essentially pay to go on tour. At least we did anyways. So I needed money to afford to eat on tour kind of thing. So, I was doing it out of necessity. So I was making stuff so I had enough money to save up to go on tour with my band. The last tour that we were on, I actually decided that I would rather build stuff than be on tour. So when I got home from that last tour, that was kind of that was the direction that I took it.
That's crazy. So if you were to look at like your first woodworking project and like look at the quality and how well you did, what do you think you would say to yourself?
I think that I would say that I've got no idea where it's going. Right? Like back then, it was just like I needed to make a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. Now it's like, now I've got employees, I've got the shop, I've got a whole lot of other things moving on. So it's like the very first piece I ever built, I actually do remember what it was, and it was a little mirror frame. Didn't really think anything of it. It was just something cool that I thought was different and fun to do, and it actually just slowly, one by one, led all the way to where we're at now.
Interesting. So how would you describe where you're at right now? Like, let's say it would be a chapter in like a book. What would you say like the title is and the summary?
That's a good one. I honestly feel like we have just built the starting line. Like I've been building now for, this will be my 12th year this year, and I feel like we finally found the starting line. And it's at such a small scale still, but like the things are being built in a way where we're going to be able to scale very big soon. And that's what my team is working on as a team. It's not just me. Like I got like all my team. Like we're all working towards the same goal, to the same place, to hit the same sort of benchmarks and stuff. And that's where we're at now. So we're at the starting line.
Crazy, man. 12 years in and it still feels like you're just getting started.
I feel like I feel like I don't even know what a starting line is yet. We're creating the starting line. That's where I feel like we're at right now.
That's
12
beautiful.
years in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you remember your first $100,000 in a month?
I do, and it actually wasn't through the shop at all.
Okay, got to break it down, man. We got to know.
Yeah, we got to know. So it's real estate. Real estate's my I guess my side hustle or whatever you want to call it. The real estate, Ford City real estate specifically, has been my baby since I started playing with real estate when I bought the building behind me in 2014. That's the only way I've made $100,000 in a month. It's how I made $100,000 in a day, $100,000 in a month, like the transaction like that. Sure, it takes months to get to the point where where you get to make $100,000 in a month or in a day. To make $100,000 in a day, it takes months with real estate. So it's one sale, like you do the work, you present it properly, you show the potential, you do whatever you have to do to essentially to show someone the value within the property and the neighborhood. That's what I've been doing anyways. And it's allowed me to make $100,000 a month a couple of times now in this neighborhood.
So how did that building type of transaction work? Because you said you still own it, right? So how do you make the money from it if you just keep it?
So there's specific ways to do that with refinancing. It's tax-free money because it's not changing hands. You are just remortgaging it, so you're getting more debt. It works as long as it's part of your plan. If it's not part of your plan, you just want all the free money, you're probably going to burn yourself. But if you do it proper, you can use it as leverage to then continue to grow. That's how I've been doing everything for me. I don't really take $100,000 and go buy crazy vacations and buy crazy things. It's just how do I roll this into something bigger, or how do I duplicate this again and duplicate it again after that? It's all it's all for the sake of growing more.
Interesting.
For me anyways.
So why do you work so hard, man?
I feel like it's more of a legacy thing for me, because I don't really live like any sort of crazy lifestyle. Like I have a lot of fun, sure, but it's more like I want to be like the one in my family that made the shift. Like I want to be the one that shifted it into where we were to what my family has become from here, kind of thing. It's like, yeah.
So let's say you had like an opportunity to talk to the 16-year-old Mike, the one before he joined the band, before he went on tour, paid to go on tour, before he started woodworking, even buying buildings, right? Like if he said, hey, Mike, how do you think I can make my first $100,000 a year? Or, if general business advice, just trying to learn, what type of advice would you have for him?
Man, that's actually a crazy question. It's I wish actually I had somebody that did that for me, because what I've learned in the last 12 years is probably teachable within, a couple years. But because I was, for the most part, learning this on my own. I mean, I do have mentors. I do have family members that work closely with me, but it's still something that you're able to learn this from people that have done it before, where me personally, I haven't really had any experience with that. So I've learned everything myself, the hard way, tripping over my own feet, learning from failures, from wins, everything like that. And I feel like if I had to talk to my 16-year-old self, it would just be just break it down. Micro goals for the macro goal kind of thing.
Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing, man. We appreciate that wisdom. So before we rock and roll out of here, I know you're a busy guy and you got a million places to go. So we really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us today.
No problem,
but where can
man.
we find you if we want to learn more about you and all the projects that you got going on?
MichaelDefazio.ca is our website. But if you want to check us out on Instagram, which is where we post most of our stuff, it would be MichaelDefazio.reclaimartistry.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me out.
Yeah, my guy.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of 100 Ways to Make 100K. I hope you enjoyed meeting Mike just as much as I did. And once again, I'm Javon.ca, and I'll see you next week on another episode. Peace.